incomplete pass.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
Now back to throw. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. Look at the big man rumble. He's at the 40. And a great return as he gets this all the way down close to the 30-yard line. How about the big boys snagging one? You don't see that every week.
No, you don't, but a lot of them are just reliving their old dreams, going back to when they were in youth football and in high school. They didn't always play defensive line. Some of them actually handled the football, and you can see the flashback when he grabbed that one.
And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. A tale of two extremes. First carry, he went for a bundle. His second goes backward.
And how many times have we seen that happen? Because you get that big carry, and you come back and you're all fired up, and sometimes you force a run a little bit, right? Trying to break off that big carry again, and instead it works opposite.
He'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first. Another good carry there for the NFL's second leading rusher, and we've talked on air, off air about his MVP candidacy. Make a case for him.
Well, I'm just going to tell you point blank, it doesn't matter whether he's first or second or even third in the league in rushing yardage. That's not the main deal. It's how he gets those yards and the impact he has on his ball club.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he'll get about 4 there as he takes it from the 10 down to the 6. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on second and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. A great play there. Touchdown number 15 of the year. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. John Harbaugh thought about it, and now his guys are going to go for the 2-point conversion. Here's a toss coming right. And he is into the end zone to bump the lead up 2 more. And I guess that makes up for the earlier missed 2-point try here to get him to 14.
Yeah, that aggressiveness, it reminds me a lot of when basketball first adopted the 3-point shot. And people were starting to realize that 3 for 2 was really starting to work for them. In this case now, maybe the 2 for 1 is coming into play in the NFL.
And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
What do you think, Brandon? I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They get a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. And it's complete to Kelsey. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. And how might this affect him for the playoffs? We'll get a report when we come back. This quarterback now already over 100 yards passing in this first quarter. It's 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. Boom, landed.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. The numbers for him from a week ago, 23 carries, 104 yards.
And give him a ton of credit. He's running the ball really well. But I look at those guys up front. That unit is truly playing as just that. Every move that they make, their teammate understands what that move means and what they need to do. And right now, they're starting to grind it out pretty well.
And he stopped immediately there. Officially, no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
And while there was no gain on that run, we do know coaches whose identity is rooted in taking it almost to the limit and then changing things up on you down the stretch. I think we're getting really close to that point in time, though, where the identity map to go out the window, and they've got to go a little bit faster in order to try and win the game.
It's a gain of 5, and that's going to make it 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. Do you like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So on trots the field goal unit, and wow, this is going to be a challenge here. They spot it on the midfield stripe, so it is a 60-yard attempt here. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is.
I tell you, it's not easy kicking field goals in the best of conditions. Yet in a downpour like we're in right now, it makes it that much harder. And sure enough, they can't convert here.
Well, they gave the 60-yarder a try, didn't make it, and now they're in a tough position defensively. This offense has it in midfield. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Watch it now, Barney! Barney! Watch it now, Barney! Barney!
And they'll go on the ground. And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. Dances by him. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 18 yards there and a first down.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Oh, nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. John Harbaugh thought about it, and now his guys are going to go for the 2-point conversion.
Watch it now, Barney! Barney!
Here's a toss coming right. And he is into the end zone again as he scores both the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to extend this lead. They get the conversion, and Charles, when you only have 2 yards to go, what do you think of the toss play? Because initially it kind of sets you back a little bit.
It does, especially if you get a lot of pressure coming towards you. But if you can get to the edge, if you seal the edge with your blocking, often your tackle or your tight end on what they call the play side where the ball goes, you can get to the corner, and that allows those big guys to get out ahead of the runner.
The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Lucky 56.
And they'll run it here. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
3-19.
Looking to throw. Oh, he's got him in wide open, complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. The 21 yards there as they convert on third. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. David Irving. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have to contend with a 3rd and 13. They'll drop to throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
12 yards on the return that time. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And here now the offense heading back out there. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And a great move on the play as he takes this one past the 25. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. They'll indeed go for it with Jackson forced out to his left. He's got his tight end in Njoku. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 27 yards, a big play there on 4th. Sitting alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin as it's London football to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. He can't bring him down.
The weight room does work.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Watch him now, Barney! Barney!
And on the ground they go with the running back. Room here to run. And touchdown! A big play there on his his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. And that score will do it. He is now the most prolific touchdown rusher of all time.
When they always talk about a runner who has a nose for the end zone, this player exemplifies that statistic. And now it's been quantified. The all-time touchdown rushing record in the NFL.
John Harbaugh thought about it, and now his guys are going to go for the 2-point conversion. Here's a toss coming right. And, boy, talk about adding insult to injury. He's into the end zone to tack on 2 more. Only had a couple of yards to gain there on the 2-point conversion, and they were able to do it.
And how many teams shy away from running the football in the 2-point conversion? They treat 2 yards as if it were 20. If you're a good team running the ball, go to your strength. Go ahead and push it into the end zone.
Yeah, they did. It worked. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Raider offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
Hey, you're impressed, aren't you?
Yeah, I am impressed. That means 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games. Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadrupled. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
A gain of 3, second down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Across the 30 to the 31-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting third and about 4 to go.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up because
looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 47. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. And pick 6 extending this lead even further. Boy, it's been a while since I've seen a team struggle this badly in the first half.
I think all they want to do is get to the locker room, try and regroup, and come out to start the third quarter. But if things don't improve fast then, I think the backups get a lot of play in the second half.
The defense more than did its job. Now the offense is summoned onto the field as they'll go for 2. Here's a toss coming right. And they are just not going to let up as he is into the end zone here for 2 more. And there's a quick momentum swing. INT return for a pick 6, and then the 2-point conversion good.
And even if you're keeping your wits about you, you're thinking to yourself, okay, extra point block team going into the game now. All of a sudden you're hearing defense. Everyone's scrambling for their helmets and throwing down their cups of water. That's a great position for them to be in, trying to score against that team. A little bit disjointed.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. And they gave up the pick 6, and now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now, as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go-around?
You should be, just because after what you gave up. But you can't be so cautious as to just really take things in, and now you're not going to play loose enough to give your team a chance to score. But you still have to be careful because those defensive guys, I know the reputation defense guys can't catch. All evidence to the contrary on that last possession, though.
Now let's go. 3-19.
After the pick six, they go right back to the air. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again.
Green 39! Green 39!
And they'll go on the ground. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. They get just a yard back there, and now they'll be looking at a tough 3rd and 15.
Early down stuffs will put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. No gain at all on the play there, and that brings up 4th. Here's Ryan Quigley now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This is fielded at the 27. That's a 49-yard punt, 8th, though, on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And they had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Watch it now, Barney!
Now they'll run it on the toss. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That'll go as a loss of 5. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. Now they'll run it on the toss. A good pickup there, 7 yards, but it brings up 4th down. This offense converted once on 4th down earlier. Now they're out there again to try once more.
Over!
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he will not even make it back to the line of scrimmage. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Raiders with the football now in excellent field position. So shall we say a bold decision to go for it, and that bold decision does not pay off.
And when you talk about bold, you're saying all caps?
All caps.
Yeah, without a doubt. Maybe they're telling their defense they have a lot of faith in them. I mean, that's how you have to spin it, is that you tell your defense, you know something? We were able to go for it there because you guys are so good. I'm not worried about things. That's the only explanation I can come up with in this situation.
Well, he better get ready to spin it for that post-game presser because you know he's going to be out.
He's going to have to spin it for his own locker room, frankly.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
And how about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield, and spills the play.
Yeah, he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. They're going to look to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll be 4th down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. Might he be on his way to a record-setting performance here, Charles? 2nd quarter, and the yardage number already ridiculous.
And they always talk about just focusing on the next play. But sometimes it's okay to dream big because
focusing on the 4th quarter already.
Listen, I don't blame you, though, because we could be witnessing some type of history here, and it's being done by him And, of course, the big guys up front who are creating the holes for him to run through.
Yeah, they've all been good so far. Right back to him on first down. He takes this one across the 35 to the 36, a gain of about 4. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
Now they'll run it on the toss. A little juke. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
Any team that runs the toss and runs it successfully, that means they win the battle on the edges. That means you seal the edge in order to let your back get to the corner. They got it done there for a very nice game.
And they'll run it here. And this will be taken across midfield and into Raider territory. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. And he'll get it down here to the 43. But just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
Second and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
Now they'll run it on the toss. There he goes inside the 30. And all the way down to the 25-yard line. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. He's to the 10. And finally taken down at the 4-yard line. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit them, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. A great play there. His second TD of the game and 16th on the season. And this offense is running away with this one. John Harbaugh thought about it, and now his guys are going to go for the 2-point conversion. Here's a toss coming right. And, boy, talk about adding insult to injury. He's into the end zone to tack on 2 more. So they kept it on the ground, got it into the end zone. But, Charles, sometimes you probably see teams treat a 2-point conversion differently than if it was 1st and goal from the 2, or I should say 3rd and goal from the 2.
I agree with you totally on that. A lot of teams treat it as if they have farther to go and shy away from running the football. I think this is a great spot to do it because most teams play you for the pass. Go ahead and run and let your linemen surge and fire out.
All right, here we go. Blue 90.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. Space to maneuver at the 40. And he'll get this all the way up to the 42-yard line. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down.
Exactly what they needed right there because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
They'll look to throw now on first down. And his pass incomplete. Kelsey, the intended receiver there, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync. Only way to play good defense.
And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more.
Partner, we're into the 2nd quarter, and I guess you can kind of look at it both ways. The offense, they've got to figure out what they're going to do because they haven't scored any points. But if you're the defense, you're feeling great about what you've got going on. The only concern you have, if you get to the half, what adjustments will the offense?
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off near the 34. He was looking for his tight end, Kelsey. That's now his second interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Right back to him on first down. And he's got some space here. 1:59 to go in the first half. Back to more NFL action on EA Sports after this. Coming up at the half, back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And down inside the 15 he goes. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. And on the ground they go with the running back. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to second and 4. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. A great effort there. On his way to a historic performance, 4 first-half touchdowns. And this offense continues to pour it on. And that rushing touchdown is 4th, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it. But he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
John Harbaugh thought about it, and now his guys are going to go for the 2-point conversion. Here's a toss coming right. And they're just not going to let up as he is into the end zone here for 2 more. And they're able to ground it in there on the 2-point try. And you and I were talking before the game that 2-point conversions from the 15-16 season, what has changed, what hasn't changed, partner?
Yeah, I'll tell you what's changed is just your normal strategy, because now you're either kicking the football with the ball on the 15-yard line, or if you decide to go for 2, they put it on the 2-yard line. So what are you thinking as a coach? Do I risk it? Do I go for it here? Do I try and gain a strategic advantage and maybe go for 2 early? That's what people are wondering about.
The Raiders offense now making their way back out onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Back to throw. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. The tight end, Kelsey, was the intended target, and it's 3rd and short.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting a quick takeoff as the ball was snapped, but I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
They'll set up a throw. Caught on the right side by Jones. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
Back to throw here. And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off at the 36. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
And before the second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Shotgun! Over!
Now they'll run it on the toss. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. And they'll go on the ground. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the second quarter.
Watch you now, Barney! Barney! Hey, 4 down. Watch you now, Barney! Barney!
Now they'll run it on the toss. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another first down. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. So we've reached halftime here. Let's throw in a broadcaster cliche, shall we? Both teams looking for a gift on Christmas Eve. As it's time now to send you back stateside to Orlando, Florida, and check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll get started up at FedEx Field in our nation's capital, where you see the final score there. 27-8 is the final score. From there, we head up to MetLife Stadium to check on the Jets. And they were winners in that one as they defeat the visiting Tennessee Titans. Saquon Barkley, a touchdown run in the victory. And one final game to highlight. We wrap things up on Monday Night Football, and they've got a good one this week between the L.A. Chargers and the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, our game has been a boat race, very one-sided to this point. And for the call of the second half, let's get it back to our commentating team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. As they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the second half. This one fielded at the 5. And he will be marked down right there at the 20-yard line. Now this offense about ready to take over again. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the second half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the first half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments. Let's see what they do, and we'll attack accordingly.
And we'll see how they attack here. Now they'll run it on the toss. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he spins through. That good for 19 and a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And they'll go with a ground attack here. Oh, twisting away. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
I know that play went to the left side, and that's what it was designed to do, an outside handoff there. But how about the whole offensive line being involved? Seal the left side where the play was going, what they call play side. But how about on the back side? Just taking care of business to make sure no one can get there and disrupt it.
Is the biggest key to left tackle?
Without a doubt. Control that edge. Get out there. You want that left tackle. If you bring your tight end over there, either way, control the edge of the line of scrimmage. You got a chance to rumble.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown! A great play there. 37 yards. And this offense is running away with this one.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run. And one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
John Harbaugh thought about it, and now his guys are going to go for the two-point conversion. And we're going to get a timeout here as the play clock was down to 2, and they'll have 2 remaining. And now once again, they'll line up to go for 2. Here's a toss coming right. And he is into the end zone again as he scores both the touchdown and the two-point conversion to extend this lead. And is there bad blood here? I mean, go for 2 when you're up that much?
If there wasn't before, there is now. When you do that, you've just announced to everyone, you just don't care about the other side at all. All you care about is what you're doing, and they just want to pile up points.
They did.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
A good starting spot for the Raiders as they come up 1st and 10. Yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, They've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
Now let's go. Green.
They'll set up to throw. The tight end Kelsey has it over the middle. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
The interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. They'll look to throw. Breaks a tackle. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. Here's Ryan Quigley now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And now back out comes the offense. And last time out, another touchdown. And I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the fourth quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport. The roads will be fairly clear by the time we have to leave the booth.
This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards.
Most players will tell you that night games, while they can be fun, they're really hard to prepare for because you wake up on game day and all you want to do is get to the stadium and let's get going. But you got to bank that fire a little bit and hold it until the evening. It's almost like a Broadway premiere. Got to wait until the nighttime to go out there in front of the bright lights. And boy, has he harnessed himself really well, and now he's unleashing it on the opponents.
Back 99 Philly, here we go. Check.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. Only a gain of a couple there. That leaves them needing about 7 here on third down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a third and long at the outset of this drive. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. He'll give up 6 yards there on the loss, and it'll bring up fourth down. Here we go on fourth down with Jackson. And he will find his man on the end route, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Not often do fourth down conversions result in 23 yards, but that's the case here. First down. Now Jackson on first down. Throw left side, caught by the tight end Njoku. And a nice little quick spin move before he's dropped. And a pretty good gain. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Jackson now, escaping the pressure right. He may try and run for this. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. 8 yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a first down.
That's something we have not seen him do to this point, and that's take the ball, tuck it, and run.
Exactly right. His first carry of the game. I guess he picked a good time to do it.
He certainly did. Not only did he have the element of surprise, he's making sure he's judicious in taking off.
Down to about the 22 here. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
Watch it now, Barney.
And now Jackson will look to throw it. And an alley to run. And he will have a touchdown. Lamar Jackson, 22 yards. And this offense continues to pour it on. And maybe the defense got so caught up in him throwing the football, they forgot he can take off too.
And you often hear about the quarterback being the unaccounted for guy as a runner. Well, even on the passing play, he's unaccounted for as a runner, and he turned it into a nice gain.
A very nice run, and it turns into 6 points. Oh, boy, rubbing a little salt in the wound there, going for 2 up this big.
You know, there's one time when I played, Brandon, and played against a team that was just absolutely pile driving us, and they ended up going for 2 late in the game. And I asked one of the guys, why'd you do that? He said, because we wanted to win by more. That feels like that type of situation.
Wow. Well, it could also result in a melee later, though. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now Oakland ready to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Set. 3-19.
They'll try the ground game here with the running back. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Here we go now. Green, 39.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Give him 3 on the play, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
But it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have the center-eligible stuff, but still.
And now here's another interception. Picked off at the 45. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman.
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
with the Eagles.
That's right. Then with the Eagles, and I believe it's against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That's going to go as a loss of 6, and it'll set him back for second down.
Watch it now, Barney.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Tremaine Edmonds there to bring him down.
Over.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Oh, a heck of a move. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 9 on the carry, but it's not enough. And it'll be 4th down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And now running right through it. And he'll be brought down, but a tip of the cap on the spin move as that gives him a first down. And the drive stays in motion with a nice 8-yard pickup on 4th.
Okay, I'm giving credit and then some on this call. When it's 4th and that many, you know that 99% of the coaches are throwing the football. In this case, though, they figured the defense was playing the pass, took a chance, ran the ball, and picked up the first down.
And down inside the 40 to about the 38. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old-school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Wide open receiver complete. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. That one goes for 36 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
Flushed out right. And he's going to go down. This will count as a sack, a very short sack, taken down at the 2.
That I'm struggling to understand a little bit. That close to the goal line, first down, run the football. If you want to throw it, throw some play action on second down.
Back at the 2 now. Here's 2nd and goal. They come out here in the I. Jackson buying time to his left. And it's a touchdown. Lamar Jackson, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And this offense is running away with this one. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. The bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
And he'll get into the end zone as the 2-point conversion is successful. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. And now the first throw for the backup quarterback. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down. He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. A gain of a yard gets him back where they started. Now it's 3rd and 10.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break.
Now let's go. Green.
They'll look to throw here. And a quick shuffle pass here is complete. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. Welcome back now here in London. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions. But the game, certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Up at the 29 now, they'll head to the line, 2nd and a yard. On second down, here's Jackson. He'll buy some time right. And he finds a man with a crossing route. A good pickup there, 26 yards. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 45-yard line. Now it's Jackson. Rolling to his left. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. Second down. And that one goes incomplete. They tried something out of the bag of tricks, but it's incomplete and now second down. Jackson now on 2nd and 10. Steps away. He's got his man on the crossing route. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. A gain of 32 that time. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he's into the end zone for the receiving touchdown. David Njoku ties LT with his 31st touchdown of the year. And this offense continues to pour it on. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him. All right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. Hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. He's picked off near his own 48, and they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. So the first interception of his career under center, and you knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
It has to. And I know he feels like the world is just tumbling down at this moment, but there's got to be some veteran somewhere, some mentor that's going to tell him, hang in there, my man. Plenty more to come. Keep firing.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They go play action here on 1st down. They'll roll him out right. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he will take it in for the touchdown. In for the score. And that interception key as it leads to the touchdown. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now the Raiders offense, they get set to head back on the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? corner, safety, linebacker. He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and that'll make it second down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. Their tackle is almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and that'll bring up a third down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Call it no gain there, and it leads to a fourth down. Here's Ryan Quigley now as he's on to punt for Oakland. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Oh, he'll field it in the end zone. A good return there, 17 yards. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. So out now comes the offense back onto the field. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number one for what we've seen this season.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Steps away to his left. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run. Throwing now, Jackson on 1st down. Flush to his right. The quick feet by Jackson. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 11 more on that one, and another first down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Throwing on 1st down, it's Jackson being chased out left. Wide open receiver complete. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. A really good pickup of 28 yards. From the gun, Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. It's 2nd and goal, but now all the way back at the 14. Jackson from the shotgun. Dancing to his left. And that is caught. And the record is his. It's a touchdown.
Well, this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't they?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know that plenty of people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Here we go.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this game.
And a loose football. And this will be scooped up by the defense.
Okay, this isn't one where you want to take the game tape and hold it up as an example, do you? I mean, you talk about frustrating all the way through. And that last error, I think that crystallizes it, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That's been representative of their entire game still being shut out. To throw is Jackson. On the move to his left. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. 23 yards on the play. And he'll go on the ground. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
That gives him 98 yards in this game, and he's got to feel pretty good about that, but the entire offense does. The big thing, though, Brandon, they've got to get to 100, though.
You think he knows he's at 98?
I think someone has told him by now. And here's the thing. Getting to 100 or more is tangible evidence that you got a nice day running the football. And that's what his offensive line wants for him and for themselves.
No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. Now they try the right side here. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1. Give him a gain of 4, able to convert, and that sets up 1st and goal now. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. A great effort there, punching it in from a yard away. And this offense is running away with this one. There we go now as they will again try for 2.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is one of our guys.
But she's singing, too.
Oh, she's at least...
She's on, like, the 5th tune at this point.
She left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Good word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he's got him. Got his man on the end route. Complete. First target, first catch, and a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll look to throw here on first down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for an Oakland first down.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now, they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
They're going to look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. Time for a break. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. He'll look to throw. And he's got his man on the out route. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
Now, that's going to be a tough one to explain when they get together and watch the game film, isn't it? I mean, they had the right call, had the out route, He's got to know where the first down sticks are, yet he steps out of bounds that close. Not their best play.
And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
Now this offense ready to head back out there. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner, and just think about how good that feels, because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right, and sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's familiar. You feel right going into the game, and they translated that into a win.
They did indeed. They protected the home field, and now the final stages. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up.
And down he goes. Brought down a Raiders sack. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Now Jackson forced out to his left. Now he's going to throw. This is caught at the 20. A gain of 39 that time. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Oh, Jackson's going to throw it. Buying time to his left. The quick feet, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Here's a toss coming right. And, boy, talk about adding insult to injury. He's into the end zone to tack on 2 more. Up big, and they go for 2, and they get it.
I remember being in high school and seeing an article in the paper where a local columnist had said, why are we fighting over sportsmanship and running up the score? Just run it up on everybody and deal with it. Some people just don't care that way, and obviously this coach feels the exact same way.
So that article was saying the defense should be able to stop them.
That's what they're trying to say. Hey, if you don't want it to happen, stop them. Otherwise, quit whining about it.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Make it back-to-back weeks now with a pick 6 for him. He had one a week ago.
Talk about being in the groove, and what are the odds of what we're seeing right here? You don't see it happen very often. Listen, if you get a pick 6 in a season, it's been a big year, let alone back-to-back weeks. I'll tell you this, I wouldn't play cards against this guy in the locker room.
And they are just not going to let up as he is into the end zone here for 2 more. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is taken at the 3. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Back to throw now on first down. Complete. The tight end, Kelsey. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first. Out of the gun. They'll look to throw. And this one incomplete. So the clock stopped now with 20 seconds remaining. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here.
Let's go ahead and try and get into the body and the mind of the linebackers. Yeah, I know they're bigger and stronger than I ever was, but in this situation, they understood what was going on as much as the offensive guys. Because the offensive guys always taught, find the first down sticks and make the play. On defense, what do you want to do? Guard the first down line. Make sure they don't get there.
And he's going to go down here as sacked. They push him back to the 34. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and as a result, possession switches hands. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. And despite the late lead, Jackson to throw. Steps away to his left. Wide open receiver complete. And now we're going to get a timeout. Somewhat pointlessly called with 3 seconds to go in a game that's already been decided. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, first and 10.
Hey, 4 down, 4 down. Hurry up, here we go. Green 39, green 39.
Jackson on first down. And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end, but now this game is over. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Or are you one of those guys
I'm a little
skeptical?